Welcome to another podcast. The Furnance. Today we have a guest. Today, my lovely wife, Sister Derriel. How are you doing today?
I'm great.
She's great. All right. So this is the first time we've done a podcast together. But one thing we haven't done is share this part of our ministry together.
But we always watch podcasts together.
And we do watch podcasts. A lot of couple podcasts together. So today, I know we've been going over a lot of stuff. Hygiene. We've been going over hygiene in particular subjects as far as hygiene. And I know the boys, they tackled pornography this month. And we also tackled what?
That's it. That's sex.
We did all that stuff. So I don't know what the ladies talked about. If y'all want to elaborate on what y'all talked about during y'all month.
Talked about friendship. We talked about hygiene, self-care. What is that? Like relationships, stuff like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good. So, and I know we talked about marriage too. So that's one of the reasons why we're here. We are married, and we've been married for 8 years, since 2005, since 2015. Since 2015, we've been married. Some of y'all probably was maybe born in 2015. I'm just kidding. You'll be 8 years old. No, but we have 2 lovely kids. We have a daughter who's 6 years old, and our son who's 12, almost 12 months. So we got a little experience in the marriage couple world. Would you say that's what you would say? Sweetheart.
Yes, I would.
So before I take over, I don't want to take over too much because we do have a special guest, and I want her to give her point of view on things as well. But I do want to talk a little bit how we met and just our testimony, just for a little bit, and then you can interject whenever you need to. Or cut me off or tell me that's not true and this is, yeah, you got it. And then we'll open the floor for any questions and just be respectful. That's all I got to say because my lady up in here. All right? Okay, so like you guys, we were in youth ministry together.
In this same building.
In the same building.
Same building with Minister Marvin as our youth leader.
Yes, Minister Marvin as our youth leader, along with several others. And so we came up together. So I did, we crossed paths. And in that time, we also became really good friends. Just by hanging out, we would go on trips together. We would do youth conferences together. I mean, even if we wasn't doing anything with the youth, we would go by each other's house and just hang out. So it was a real.
We had friends with us. It wasn't just us.
Oh. It was daily raise. So we would always be fellowshipping. I would go ahead and I would get my hair cut by her dad. So we would spend time there, and just other people too, not just me. So we had a real tight core with our youth ministry. So throughout the years, we would go to school together. We would have different activities together. So it's just building that friendship and that bond, a sister and brother kind of friendship, right?
No intentions.
There was no intentions.
No motives.
No intentions. At the time, obviously, I'm married to Sister Derriel. So during that time, we tried out, not as far as we, but individually, we tried out the dating world. So we did that. We bumped our heads a little bit. But I don't know if y'all know my testimony.
How about you just start off with your testimony?
Oh, okay. I'll start off with mine. Then I think you already know mine. A little bit of it? Okay, well, y'all want to get to the guest testimony. Okay, yeah. They already know about me, babe. So, come on. Go ahead and tell your testimony. How
So,
you've been delivered.
so yeah, like we were friends throughout our youth, and I went off to school and got into some stuff and doing crazy stuff. And Ralph and I were still best friends throughout all that. And this particular season, I was trying to do the right things. And so he all of a sudden was calling me more and texting me and checking in on me. Yeah, you were. Yeah, you were.
Okay.
You were.
I'm gonna let you tell your
So he was trying to slide in.
We were friends. Yeah. We were.
It was no intent.
Wait, I'm not done. So we were friends that whole time, but like wasn't talking as much as we used to. But in that particular season, he was calling me more and checking in on me and everything. So rather than going out on Friday and Saturday nights, I'll be on the phone with him. He didn't know this, but he became my person.
Your best friend.
No, like
Your man.
he would just keep me accountable. So I won't go out. I'll be doing my homework and he'll be on speaker while I'm typing or whatever. Just not getting into trouble. And what else happened after that?
So I believe one of those Fridays,
It was a Friday.
probably one of those Fridays I called you. Well, your mom was like, you need to check up on your friend.
Hold on before y'all move forward. Just for clarity, for those that may be watching, y'all were in college at this time, right?
Yes.
No,
Okay.
you were back home.
I was back home. I didn't tell that part of my story. I was back home and I was doing ministry here. And my wife was in college at the time.
Okay.
And so her mother called and was like, you need to check on your friend and see how she doing. She said that Derriel didn't have no friends. So she was like, you should
more than
probably
enough
call him
friends.
since you, if that's your real friend, you should probably call her. So one day I did call her and I don't know if it was late, but it was at nighttime. And we were just having this fluent conversation, you know, just talking and talking. And when I hung up, I said, man, I think she'd be a dope wife.
First of all, pause. He didn't hang up. He said that.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Oh, I said that
You
on the
was
phone?
like,
Oh, you're going with it. El Reyes. Come on. No.
he was like, well, you was like, well, I can see you being my wife
Oh,
or something
so
like that. He
I shot
said
at you, huh?
he did, and I never, and it just went over my head until we hung up the phone. I was like, did that just happen? That just happened.
And yeah, so did we hang up after that?
We hung up.
So we hung up after that. But I remember after us getting off the phone, I was like, all right, now I need to see if I need to do like a fleece or something, right? I need to see if I was just being lustful or like, was I really feeling something? And that's when it goes into my testimony, what my fleece where I was trying God. Like I said, Lord, if this is what you really want, let me see a pink car. And you don't see pink cars. So I knew it was like, I really wanted to challenge him. I was like, all right, ain't no pink cars. And at the time I was working for a company, a driving company. I was delivering oxygen. And the next day I was looking for this pink car. And then I went to a parking lot for lunchtime. And then I just gave up on it. I was like, all right, okay, let me get my head on straight, because that conversation yesterday was probably just me just being fleshy. And then so on my way to back out, I saw this pink 2006 Impala in the rearview mirror, and it went boom. I laughed so loud. And in that time, man, God was just showing me just so much stuff. I mean, whatever I was asking for, he was like, yes, it's right there. And it would be in scripture. But till this day, we just went on a conference. Till this day, I would see a pink car whenever, like when we're together sometimes. And also like when I'm like, man, this lady, you know? and you see just this pink car and be like, yep, that was that promise. So
But when he was back at home, I was trying to figure out if I was gonna stay in Tulsa or if I was gonna come back home. And I was about to stay in Tulsa. I had a job. I had about to get an apartment, all this stuff, and he just came back. Yeah, we just was having those conversations, and God was just revealing things to both of us, and I felt like he was telling me to come back home, and I did, and we actually stopped talking for a little bit
yeah,
to kind of
had
see
to.
what what's going on here, and God had showed me that in the midst of all the crazy stuff that I had done, that nothing's going to stop the plan that he had in place for me. And I never imagined that Ralph would be in that picture, but God was just so good to us during that time.
oh yeah,
and
he still is.
yeah,
He
for
still
sure.
is. So, yeah. So I don't want to say it's history, but we are still pressing on with our marriage as well. So, and so that's the love that was the beginning. Now, when you get married, it's time to start working. It don't just stop at the marriage, right? So we talked about that, right? We've been talking about different struggles, different being intimate, right? I remember. So
Well, before we move to that part, let's kind of talk about the whole process that y'all went through in your courtship. The struggles, the temptations there, or just how did that process look like for y'all?
So courtship was we had fun. Like, we didn't want to be by ourselves. Like, we wanted somebody with us all the time because we didn't trust ourselves, first of all, because we've done stuff, and we was attracted to each other, so we didn't want any temptation, any time
sure.
with ourselves. So
I just didn't want to mess it up because I was like,
Right.
man, this is something good, and
Yeah.
I'd rather hold off.
right, his parents was our chaperone all the time. Like, about what?
So it was about a month or maybe 2 months before we was about to get married, and we were buying furniture and stuff for the house, and
They could probably say it better than we. They probably explained
they
it
love
better.
that story. But we were like sanding this furniture, and I guess it was just in the type of way.
Like, the wind was blowing.
Yeah,
And
and my mom was like, y'all need to hurry up and get married, cause we were just like sanding this furniture, and it was just like a little motion. But anyway, so that was like, man, y'all probably hurry up and get married, but it was countdown time, So
But how was our courtship? Like, I can't.
our courtship was, oh man, I can remember.
We had one little that almost kind of made me want to go back to Oklahoma. But
What happened?
we had one little incident. It wasn't with us. It was with family. So when you're going through courtship,
Oh, and then scheduling of the wedding and stuff.
yeah, when you're going through courtship and preparing for a wedding, like, I feel like God is doing sanctification with everybody. Like me, Ralph, the parents, family, everybody is just getting worked on. So we just had
Enemy
situations
involved, too.
happen, and which that was the only thing that I'm not gonna go into detail, but that was the only big incident that happened during courtship that kind of made us second guess what we were doing. But
I mean, there's times when we wanted to just like go to the courthouse and just be like, when
we had to
just
do a
wanna get
lot of apologizing. We had to do a lot of revisiting stuff and just apologizing for things that we did to people.
Yeah, I mean,
intentionally
even
and-
to I can remember sometimes when like we offended each other too. It was just two people trying to blend together. And it's two different families trying to blend together. So it's a start of a new beginning. So it comes with its struggles and it comes with its fiery darts, for lack of better words. But the enemy definitely didn't want to see two people, blend together. So, but it eventually worked out.
And y'all got married when?
And we got married
April 17th.
April 17th. We courted for maybe
It was
a
less
year.
than a year. It was
No,
a
I think it was a year or so.
Oh, they got locked in quick. Give me one more.
It was less than, maybe it was a year.
Probably close to a year. Probably like maybe 9. I don't know, 9 months or whatever.
So you know how like you said like the fleece like with the pink car and stuff?
Yeah.
Say like I don't know like how you did that, like you just like said it.
I saw God, right? Because I wanted to do the right thing. I didn't just gave in to the urge of my flesh and just be like, "Ooh, I want to pursue this lady." I asked God about this decision, right? I considered Him, right, in my decision making, and I think that's the important thing that we have to do when we make decisions, is we have to consider Him. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and then all these things will be added unto you. So putting Him first, and that's what I had to do. I had to say, what do you think about this? Because at this point in time, I had made decisions and it got me nowhere, or it got me with scars. So at this point in time, I was like, well, if I'm going to make this big decision, because marriage is a big decision, and first of all, I had intentions on being married too, right, to this person. I wasn't like, well, let me just see, I had intentions on being married. So with that, I had to make that decision, and I wanted to make the right decision. So that means I had to pray, I had to get a fleece. If I had to, do something else, I wanted to make sure that it was the right decision.
Another question for Mrs. Derriel. When he told you that you would make a lovely wife, do you feel like uncomfortable around him?
Uncomfortable?
That's a real question.
No, I didn't feel uncomfortable. We was on the phone and we was like miles and miles away.
Oh, yeah.
But no, I was shocked that he said that because we was best friends. So no, I wasn't uncomfortable.
Best friend make your.
What did you say to that?
I was like, no, I said,
Wait.
I said, yeah, that would be cool. Something like that, I said. And then I hung up, and it was like, that just happened. Yeah. So.
Were you with somebody when you was in Tulsa when he said that?
I wasn't in a relationship with anyone, if that's your question.
Oh, period.
Wait, what'd you say, Ebony? What's the question?
When she's talking to somebody in Tulsa.
I don't think that would work.
It might have. It might have would work, because what's for you is for you. She didn't know that I was gonna tell her that at that time. She could have very well been in a relationship at the time, But what God has for you, He got for you.
When did you actually feel like you should marry him? Like when you were like, oh my gosh, I could like totally see myself being a wife to this guy.
Did you say when?
Yeah.
Like
What was the moment?
When was the moment I said, why? What?
Like when was the moment you knew that you should marry him?
Oh, I guess in that conversation, like we were just so cool. It just felt like, sure, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
not sure,
because it wasn't like somebody new just coming up and being like, "Hey, you want to get married?" Like, bro, I don't know nothing about you,
Right.
But the fact that we were close and she knew all this stuff, even struggles too, that
we knew
each other's
Yeah, we knew each other.
struggles and stuff we done been through, past childhood stuff. So it was like we already know, each other to a certain extent, to a certain point. So sure. Why not?
Not sure. Why not? Not like that.
Oh, how was it?
Yeah.
Why not as crazy?
Sure, it's like, what the heck? Let's just do it. You know? It wasn't like
we
that.
ain't getting no younger. We might as well.
No.
What you say, Mike?
So like for the first time, like when you met her, like you saw her in real life, and I guess when not like no, chill, bruh. Like when I used to hang, did you get like butterflies? Did you get nervous?
What you mean? Like after we had that conversation?
No, like when y'all was just hanging out by your friend's house.
We were just hanging out by the friend's house.
Yeah,
We was actually friends, so I didn't have no butterflies.
But what about after that conversation?
After the conversation, yeah, it was like
You had butterflies?
Like did you
not
always
butterflies,
like
but
did
it
you
was
al-
like
Yeah, Brother Rob was like,
you were kind of like vulnerable,
Did
you know,
you
like I
always
told
think
you
about-
like how I feel about you, so I'm right.
But
here with
we
it.
didn't see each other until
Probably Easter. Picnic.
Easter. Yeah.
Remember that. We took
That
a
was like
picture together.
months. Yeah.
That wasn't months.
It was just, we just hadn't seen each other in months since that
Right, because
conversation.
if she was still in school, so you only get those breaks when you, just semester breaks or whatever. So I was down here, and she was in school. So I think one time I was like, "Are you coming? You coming to the picnic or something like that?" Maybe, I don't know if that was.
Yeah, I
that.
did surprise you for picking
And I was like, yeah, I was like, "Are you coming to the picnic?" She was like, "No." And like, was Snapchat out? Or Instagram?
Yeah,
Not in 2013.
Something was like, all right, well, I said, FaceTime me.
We didn't have FaceTime.
Yeah, I think so.
I didn't
think
have
so.
an iPhone, so you didn't FaceTime me.
No, my bad. It was Skype.
It was Skype.
It was Skype. It was Skype. So I said, and I was like, Skype me, and she was like, no, and I was like, why you want to Skype me? I felt the type of way, but so that Sunday, I think it was Easter, and then I walked to the back door. It was over here in the church, and then she was right there in the back door. I was like, so I didn't even have no time to be like, well, let me, I was just going to church, and then she was in the back door right there. It was like, So I don't know if that answered your question. It did. What you say, Al? What you got, brother?
Random, but when you told her that she would make a lovely wife, did that just slip out of your mouth, or that actually, or you planned that?
I mean, I think I was in the groove of just talking, and I don't know. That was a true feeling, And I don't think. I mean, that was nothing, sexual about that. I just was like, we were in the flow of talking and just was, and I was like, man, I think you'd be a dope wife, Like, it wasn't no, let me hit her with this. Yeah, it wasn't no, let me, you got to do this when you talk to somebody. It wasn't no, let me riz, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't no riz. It was just like, I was like, hey, we talking, blah, blah, blah. And we stopped for a second. I was like, you'd be a dope wife, man. No, bro, that's when whatever, bro. I ain't getting into that with y'all. Y'all have a question? Go ahead.
Like, did y'all say like I love you to each other? Like when y'all was in friends, like in a friendly way?
I think we probably said that.
I said it
Like probably over text or something.
And like, is it like a different kind of
Man,
I
y'all
love
gotta
you when y'all was
understand,
like?
It wasn't like we didn't have any. We didn't have no agenda. We was just friends.
We didn't have no agenda because
Probably
of this thing.
times when we had that, like, we went to a youth conference and
I
what
don't
was
know.
that? Had the cross. What was that?
Extreme camp.
Extreme camp.
That
That was a deep
Oh
conference.
man,
Yeah,
that camp right there.
We all found out something about
Somebody
doing
that was a really good camp.
Yeah.
And we found out some backstories of like childhood trauma, and at that time, like us as a youth group, we was just like, carrying
Such a
not
good
carrying
time.
each other burdens, but just like seeing, man, you went through that. Like, oh man, you went through that, and it was really a close knit group, and so, I mean, yeah, we probably have said I love you, like love you, as a sister, because we saw their struggles. It was like, man, bro, like, woo, we all in this together. It wasn't no, yeah. Let me, wasn't no yeah.
For real though. For real.
Oh, you hurting my sister? Yeah. It wasn't like that. It was a real genuine like, yo, like we all going through stuff.
I think we have a picture of us at the cross. We all was like, we took a picture at the
Man,
cross.
we was balling too. Just that camp was really good. But also this, it was a thing for the boys to not to talk to the church girls. So they was like, nah, bro, you can't mess with them church girls, bruh. So we had our individual, like we called it talking. We were talking to people in public school. So it wasn't like a like this was my sister. I would never look at her like that because I'm looking at her like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and if some dude looked at her like that, then I'm on him. You know what I'm saying?
That's
You know
how
what
they
I'm
were
saying?
in high school.
That's how it was. And saying for the girls too, they was like,
Who is that?
you
Who
going
is
out with
she?
her? She ugly. I'm like, you know what I'm
Say
saying?
ugly. We ain't do
No,
all that.
y'all didn't talk about some of the people that I was.
We ain't call
talking
nobody
to.
ugly. I didn't call nobody ugly.
Yeah, they was like, ugh, you talking to her? Ugh. But that's how we was. It wasn't a like, yeah, let me get on this here. It was more like a sister and brother thing. Like, nah, you don't want to talk to him, and like, boy, you don't want to talk to her. She dirt, whatever. That's how we was. But as time eventually we got married. So I kind of want to knock out some marriage questions if y'all got some marriage questions, because I don't really want to hang on this dating stuff. All right? I know y'all want to live in that fantasy.
I'm trying to put on my fleece right now.
Pull it up. All right, here we go.
So, what was the hardest thing about getting married?
Getting married?
Like being married. Like, what was the hardest struggle?
I would say the challenge, I wouldn't say is the hardest. The challenge is that you are two different people, very different people, and you're trying to blend together to do God's will, right? One, the enemy don't want that because it's two godly people working for the same goal, and then we just had to learn each other too.
Yeah, like we knew each other, but we didn't know each other.
We didn't know each other.
Like if he made me mad, I'll stop talking to him for a couple of days.
Yeah,
but I can't do that because we're married. I can't, not talk to him in a couple
Right.
of days. So it was a challenge with that. Like
It was
knowing each
challenges
other.
with that, and
And
then
we have two different backgrounds.
You got
like,
two different backgrounds.
He was
You
raised
know,
a
my
little
gifts are
different.
different than my wife's. I'm more compassionate. She's more what? Perceiver, compassionate, and I'm like compassionate, perceiver type. So that was the struggle in that. So just trying to blend, and then expectations too. Expectations in marriage. I thought a certain way. This is how things were supposed to happen, and I'm sure maybe my wife thought a certain way how things are supposed to happen. And when it didn't happen, it was like what? Like this is what married people do, or this is how they're supposed to be. This is how you supposed to act. You supposed to do that. You supposed to do that. You supposed to take out the trash. You supposed to do the dishes. What you talking about? You supposed to cook. So expectations, and we put that on each other, and uncommunicated expectations, right? If I never say, well, I thought you were supposed to cook all day long. You may
They
think
gotta ask
that.
I'm cooking.
You may think that going into your marriage.
And I think for me, a lot of things was what I saw my parents do. Like it was different. So my mom cook and clean, house clean. That's what I thought I needed to do. And he just go to work. But he saw something different than what I saw. So
Yeah, I saw
it was
something
just-
different. Well, I don't know. My mom don't really be cooking like that.
exactly.
That fried chicken though.
Yeah.
Fried chicken.
I mean, they were more.
Busy
I don't
like
know.
with church and everything.
I would put it this way: my parents were were like quiet, and even in their differences, they would be more quiet. Like, okay, more compassionate with it, and her parents would just be like.
Like that's my whole family, just
very loud.
Yeah.
So even that, and even having just different backgrounds, you know what I mean? How we was raised. I had both of my biological parents. My wife has her biological dad and her father too in her life. And well, I call him your father.
Well, he is my father.
Yeah, but your stepdad. I don't know. He stepped up a long time ago, but all right. But see that, so you have that different dynamic where I had a solid father. He was in the home. One was in, one was out, and one stepped in and then, chill.
It's a whole different dynamic.
You got a question?
Yeah. So, what do y'all think about, like, do y'all think that the woman, like, I know the guy's the man of the house, but should the woman really be, like, bowing? I don't care.
Go ahead, friend.
But, so, should the woman just, like, do whatever the man says? Like, say, if this house is dirty and all your dirty socks on the floor, I gotta clean it up? Like,
Absolutely not.
What do you think?
I think so.
What you think?
What?
Wait, hold up. Let's hear from a married woman.
What did you? I'm gonna say no. No. So I'm gonna say no. Like he should clean up after himself, and you do your part. But
1950s mom,
No,
cook, clean, vacuum.
No, I'm not a 1950 wife. Like I have a job, he has a job, so we both kind of help do stuff together. Like we got kids, so we both give baths. We both. He don't. I cook. He try to cook, but but we just work together, and we know, I don't mind cooking, so I'll cook, and he'll do the other part. He'll do baths, and I'll wash, and he'll fold. Like we're just working together, Yes, he is the head, but we both do things together, make decisions together, teamwork,
But there definitely was an expectation of like.
Are you about to tell us that story
What story?
about the groceries? No. Okay, never mind.
Oh, yo, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, babe. I apologize.
He apologized
every
probably
time
1,000 times.
I hear this story. Every time I think about it, man, that is so me. I'm the man of the house. All right. I'm the man of the house, and we on a budget in this house. You
when we
understand
first
me?
got married.
You understand me? And the groceries is this much. We ain't going over the groceries. Oh my God, I get cringy just talking about it. So I was like, all right. So she came back with the groceries, and it was over the budget. Say if it was like $100 or whatever. So it was $100, and maybe it was like $120. I was like, babe, no, we can't do. You got to bring them groceries back. You got to bring them groceries back. And my wife, and her calm self at the time, but she ain't taking that no more. She was like, what? Okay. And she brought the groceries back to the place. And I don't know what you did at the store, but I mean, that must have been so embarrassing. About the second time I did that, the third time it was over with. She was like, no. Well, I ain't bringing no groceries back, bruh. You going to have to figure something out. But I apologize every time. I'm sorry, babe.
I can't believe I was so calm. Now looking back, I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
But that's the thing of like, well, the man is supposed to. The man is, he's got all the bright ideas, and he the head of the house, and you know.
Well, you'd be
But that was
surprised.
the
Like some
expectation.
things, like he's stronger in, and some things I'm weaker in, and we
Yeah.
kind of like balance
Balance,
each other
yeah.
out. So that's why it's good to do things together.
Very, very, very much so. Yeah, because I mean, you're learning yourself and your spouse at the same time too. It's there's some things that there's some things that I thought that I would never do, like as far as even anger. I thought I was cool, man. Man, all of a sudden they got a hole in the door. Yes, a hole in the door.
He had to go find another
I had to
door.
find a whole nother door. But I didn't know I had this in me. You know what I'm saying? But that's the stuff that God is. I mean, he give you somebody that see them imperfections in you and know how to get it out you. I always say my wife's the only one that know how to get that gangsta out you. Get that gangsta. She know how to pull your card. But you just, those are the things that God really wants to get out of you. You know what I mean? The stuff that you don't see. That's the whole purpose of doing God's will together. So that's the beautiful thing of marriage, right? Just getting those things that you thought was deep rooted. I mean, even like childhood scars. That's somebody you can talk to and get those things out of. I mean, get those things out and be able to heal from it. Yeah. What you say?
Were you scared when y'all had your first baby?
Was I scared?
Nervous.
Nervous?
No.
I mean, we were nervous.
when you found out.
Okay, yeah, better.
No, actually, we
prayed about it.
we prayed about it, and it actually took longer than what we wanted it
that's
to.
a story too.
So when it did happen, we were surprised.
Yeah.
There's a story behind that too. But
I'll tell it. All right.
Were you
So
expecting it to be like automatic? To wait a little bit, but then have it, but then y'all waited like way longer.
I think we was like almost 2 years when we had
it
our
was 2
pre.
years. It was 2 years in, and we wanted it that way. We just wanted to, enjoy our marriage and figure each other out. Not figure each other out, but just experience life together and just get those kinks out before we bring a whole nother life in. You know, that's the way it planned out. But we sat on we was on the couch, and we was watching some show. We was watching the
Food truck.
food trucks, and I can remember the meal. My wife used to always make chicken Alfredo.
That's all I knew how to cook.
Chicken Alfredo and garlic
A garlic bread with the cheese and a
and
jalapeno on top.
She put jalapenos on top. She was hooking it up. And I was just like, man, my wife can cook, bro. But we was watching it, and she was like, "You don't have a baby?" And I was like, "Man, I'm thinking about like finances and stuff like that, and all this other stuff."
Yes.
Of course. We know why you wanna. I'm sure. Yeah, the process. Yes, that's all enjoyable.
Are you gonna talk to the mic, bro?
You wanna have mini meat.
Mini me.
But there's something. I mean, you gotta keep an account. You know. I mean, whatever. You gotta provide for that kid. You know. So whatever. I mean, but at the time, we decided that we wanted to, and we prayed. We prayed on the couch. I remember our little couch, and we prayed, and we said, "Lord, if you want us to have a kid, so shall it be." And but in that, in all our decisions, we try to consider God. You know, we prayed about, what house, our careers, because I believe. Well, for me personally, I'm not gonna speak for my wife, but me personally, I bumped my head a lot, and I wanted to make decisions based on.
That's for both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let my wife tell it. She say I'm a little slow in making decisions.
He like this, just. Well, that's a little faster than you.
Yeah,
but
I guess so.
Yeah, Ralph is very
I tried to. I mean, I need to hear from God. He needs to come down. He need to sit right here, pull me right here, and say, Ralph, that's what I want you to do. And I'll be like, you sure? And he gonna be like, yes. Then I'll be like, all right, let me see. That, and then that's how slow that process is, because I'm just like, I don't want to mess nothing up. But in trial and error, you're gonna, mess up some things. Be the grace of God to just keep on going.
So like in your head, did you have like this one person talking to you initially, like, and another person talking to you initially, like different decisions, different, like.
Sure, yeah. I mean, we always when we talked about being led by the Spirit and being led by the flesh, it's all, you got to understand, like, during the process before I got married, I was yielding to my flesh. Any decision that I wanted to make, oh, yeah, that sounds good. You want to go to college? Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's what everybody do. Everybody go to college. Oh, you want to hang out with a little girl? Oh, yeah. Go ahead. But those things got me in trouble, so now I'm like, let me see what God want me to do.
You had a question?
So ever since then, I'm just like, I need to consider God in all my decision making. Okay, I want to hear something from the lady.
Got a
ain't about that time.
Twig. What you saying?
So, what advice do you guys have on taking advice from people? Like, did you have like maybe one friend telling you this, like who's already married, giving you advice, and then like somebody else telling you this, and then you had to like pick and choose or something like that?
Do we have somebody giving us advice?
In which stage?
Like when y'all first got married, and like maybe when y'all was courting, like any.
For sure. I think it's so good to have somebody like a mentor, or somebody you can trust. They'll give you sound, godly advice, especially a new married couple, because you don't know what you're doing, period. So yes, we did have someone in our courtship stage and when we first got married. Was it the same? Yes.
What?
The same. Was it the same person?
The people who helped us out. Yeah, but at some things we thought that we were the only ones going through.
Because nobody, talked about it.
Nobody talked about it, And we were like, man, and almost considered leaving the church, to be honest. Because we was like, there's nobody around here that knows what we're going through. Which is just
a lie.
A lie. We had to find that out. There's plenty of married couples, for starters, right? And they've all been married at least 1 year. They've gone through what we've gone through, and had kids, and had to have jobs. And so all those categories that we thought that, man, they don't understand us.
They're just
was
old.
just a lie.
I'm just old.
Yeah. They don't understand. They wasn't brought up in social media time.
What was your question again? Did I answer your question?
No. Mike got something.
Okay. So what would y'all be rated right now, since like y'all been married for 8 years? Like you know how you just said like people on the ranch married and stuff. Like, would y'all be able to like counsel like somebody new to marriage?
I think we can like give advice and be a good sounding board or like mentor, but yeah.
I mean, I always want to be like a any information that I get, I like to pass it on to somebody else, right? So if I found out, like, we went to a marriage conference, but this wasn't in the marriage conference, but I believe the Lord gave this to me. Our love languages are different, and we've been trying to like, okay, well, how does my wife receive love? How do my husband receive love? So our strategy is to, whenever my wife calls, it says, bae, active service, and quality time. So now I know, okay, now I know to be conscious, that's how she feels love. And the same thing with her. With me, she has, what'd you have?
Physical touch and
Amen.
affirmation.
And affirmation.
But what I was going to say is, yes, we would love to help new married couples because we don't want anyone else to feel like they're alone or, you know, that's a horrible feeling. You don't want to feel that way. If you have people here.
No, hallelujah. You going to be locked in? Ain't no switching up. Okay, Myron, you got a question?
No, I was telling Sam. Oh no.
Okay, I want. Can we? You want to move on to something else?
I want to say something that Samuel said. He was mentioning about when he was talking about the fleece. Listen, so my advice to all of y'all, that those that desire to be married, it's definitely not too early to start fleecing God, seeking God. This will actually be the good time to start seeking God for your mate. So once you become of age and prepared to, things could, you can already kind of be transitioning. So this is a good time. I know at least for me and my wife, we encourage our boys, hey, start praying. We've always did that with our kids to start praying and asking God to prepare your wife. You know what I'm saying? So when it's time to go to college or get to that time, you already be there. So yes, Sam, this is a good time to start doing that.
Yeah, and that starts with also just having a relationship with God too, See?
Trying him.
And trying him, building up your faith. And just having that relationship with God, like praying on certain decisions, praying on certain things. Then it will be a habit to, when that opportunity comes for you, then you can say, well, Lord, what you think about this? So it's having that relationship instead of being like, ooh, I want to get married. Please, Lord, please send me a fleece. And it's like Santa Claus. It's like, bro, who are you? I haven't heard from you in 2 years. But just having that relationship. And I want to say, man, before we got married, that devotion time was fire.
It was.
It was, man. I feel like I can't find the time no more. But when you're single, oh man.
I was writing blogs and doing all that.
Writing blogs. I'm writing notes. I'm highlighting all kind of stuff. But as soon as it just once you get married, it's like
kids.
Kids start to pull on you. So this time, I'm telling y'all, right now would be the good time to just dive into your word and have that relationship with God, so you can ask those questions, and He'll give those answers.
You can have y'all coffee in the morning and a notebook and have it all set up.
Hey, your little Gatorade.
Yeah, make it. Yeah.
I hear you, man. But it comes. You gotta put some work in it. Let me tell you something too. Marriage is work too, man. It's work. You have to work at it.
Intentional.
You have to be intentional. So it can't just be like I heard somebody say over on the side, I just want my fleece and I just want to have sex. Wow. That's what I heard. But if that's your attitude, then you might I don't know. You might need to fix your heart on that one. You had a question, Mike? Oh, Matt, go ahead.
I was just asking, does it make your marriage like more complicated when you have kids?
I wouldn't say complicated. Those are very...
I wouldn't say harder. I'll say
it's a
challenge.
It's more challenging, yeah, because instead of juggling our marriage, now we have to juggle kids. Now you have 3 objects you have to juggle.
Plus job and
the job. So
finances.
Another object. And then finances. Now, I was a good juggler.
Personal struggles.
Brother Marvin might tell you. I was a good juggler. But when it comes to juggling, all these responsibilities and stuff, you might drop a couple.
Yeah.
You may drop a couple. So also that's the preparing, right? That's preparing when you're single,
So
learning how to
have a
take care of
solid
bills.
foundation.
Learn how to take care of certain stuff before you get into a relationship that's going to that you have to juggle as well. What'd you say?
So like, say like for marriage, should you marry? Is it good to? No, I don't want to say that. Do you have to marry a person that like actually works in ministry? Because like they have people that just go to church and don't do nothing, but they just there and they Christian. But like,
what do you think? I can't tell you who the right person is to marry.
saying, but like, would it be a not much of a good idea to marry somebody that's not really like doing anything in church? They just there.
So I would say, go ahead, man.
Well, I would say, I have ministry at my house. Like I have kids. I have responsibilities
That's definitely
with
ministry.
with kids, family, household duties, career. Like so I wouldn't base that just on. I wouldn't say that,
Yeah.
So there's more to consider than just that, but it is important. I mean,
Yeah, it's important. I think it's important to serve, but that may
just gotta
not
know
be.
that person.
Yeah, that may not be their season. That may not even be their calling.
Right.
Some people are different. Some people are heavily involved in ministry, and some people are not. And personally, I think if you have two people that's heavily involved in ministry, what time is for each other, right? So that's just my point of view. But
Pray
so
about
I wouldn't.
that. Pray about that.
Yeah,
I just say pray
it.
about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't. That wouldn't be like on my checklist. Where she got to be in ministry. I would. The thing that attracted me to my wife, to my wife was that she was pursuing God. That was it. I was like, oh, she ain't in the club. Well, hold on, babe. She used to be in the club. She used to be in the club. But yeah, backsliding days. But her pursuit for God and like how she would do her devotion and just the way that she talked, it was like, man, I better lock this down before somebody else do. You can talk right now. Okay. I want to shift if we can.
Michael has a question.
Okay, Michael.
This different. This different. So
Yeah.
you ain't got it. But like back then, did like Butter Roaf and did they let y'all like hang out with y'all public school friends? Since y'all was black.
He played football. I was a trainer. So yeah, we had.
What you mean by they allowed you to hang out with?
Meaning his parents,
Y'all can't
his
get,
parents, or
y'all
who?
can't allow to.
We can't. That's what I'm saying.
Your
Y'all don't go to
parents?
public school. What?
I do go to public school.
I'll tell you this.
I'll tell you. Oh, so my parents, they trusted me for a little bit in high school, but they trusted me, so I was able to do things with other kids my age and be responsible with the car and all that stuff. So I had a relationship with my parents. They trusted me, so I was able to go outside and do other things.
Same.
Yeah, I wasn't a bad kid. Yeah.
If they trust you, you get to have more privileges.
More privileges.
Right? So I remember one time I was going to a birthday party and my dad, he drove the van, one of the vans to the birthday party. And we was about to get out, me and this the guy that I played football with. And he stuck his head out the window. Y'all gonna be drinking up in here? Huh? Where y'all parents at? But that was just his way. I was like, man, I know I gotta go through this embarrassing moment just to go to this party with my friends that go to school. But I mean, if that was the way he was gonna let me go, then I was just gonna, do that. So you gotta take the crookeds with the straight.
When y'all drove off, did you try to hurry up and change the conversation?
No, I mean I didn't have no. You gotta understand, man. Like
I just laugh at it.
I don't know. I guess it was just a different time. Like, I wasn't really trying to get into nothing. It was just the people that I was hanging out with, they had the same beliefs and morals, right? I was on the football team, so it wasn't like, hey, let's go do drugs. Like, no, I'm an athlete. Like, you know, so I hung out with those people. Now, they were dipping into, you know, sex and stuff like that. But I was like, nah, man, I'm good, bro. Because I was trying to live the Christian life. Whatever I was getting taught in the youth ministry, I wanted to act that out on Monday, you know, during the week. I remember one time I had just went up to the altar. I'm just a squirrel moment. I went up to the altar and I was playing basketball. And this dude was just testing me or whatever. Man, something just rose up in me. I just choked him and put him on the locker. And I was like, bro, I ain't want to do that, bro. I was like, bro, I ain't want to do that, bro. I just went up to the altar. But that goes to show you that I was like, man, you know, I really want to please God. You know, I really want to, you know, do what he called me to do. And, you know, I didn't want to sin. I didn't want to backslide. You know, I wanted to, you know, live this life. And it was hard. But through God's strength, you know, you're able to do it. And, you know, it'll save you a lot of heartache, stuff like that, too.
Sure.
I really want to switch.
All right, switch to what?
I want to switch to the topic. We also talked about pornography. Do y'all remember us talking about pornography? Did they talk about pornography? Okay.
Close the door.
What'd you think? All right. Because that's what we were talking about.
Hey, no outlandish stuff.
Okay. You still, so you don't want to? I'm not gonna go deep.
So we're talking about relationships, marriage.
Yeah, we're talking about relationships.
No.
Marriage, and because I want to give y'all it's. Okay, the boys talked about it, but I'm not gonna go into detail. But I will tell you that it can slip over into your marriage. That's what I want. I want to let you know that because there was an expectation of certain things. Remember, we talked about how the brain works and everything. So there was an expectation on that. So I thought, because of me watching it, I thought that whenever I got the urge, then this is what I need to do. So now this pressure is on my wife now. I'm bringing that up because now that brings friction in the marriage. That's why I'm bringing that up. So the things that you tamper with before you get married, it can find its way into the marriage. Now me and my wife have to pray over this and, you know, and do these certain things. When it should have been both of us going to our marriage pure, right? That's our goal. That should be the goal, is going into your marriage pure, and then you won't have these things. So with that, it brings a lot of turmoil. And we don't got to go into detail, but I'm just letting y'all know that's stuff you would have to deal with too if you want to tamper with stuff. Amen, sister?
So I would say by doing
soul ties and stuff like that.
by doing that, like watching the porn, like you're actually hurting your wife. Like, do you want to hurt her? Because that is a hurtful thing, you know, when that happens. So just think about that part too when you're.
She can talk. Yeah, go ahead and talk. They were saying, can you talk? Because they was just talking while you were talking. Yeah.
So yeah.
You think so? Yeah, I in a way, yeah, because it's not you're looking at something that God didn't intend for you to look at, right? This is supposed to be your person, right? So yeah, in a way, this is being that's sin, yes, very much so. So it pulls.
Adultery from a marriage standpoint.
Yeah, so now you have to deal with that in your marriage, right?
You hurt your person.
And you hurt your person.
You hurt your person.
So that's something you got to deal with. So any questions along that line? No? Okay, so we can move on. All right. Y'all want to go to hygiene?
Yeah. Yes.
That's something that needs to be touched.
All right, y'all. Well, that has been another podcast episode. Y'all give it up.
Thanks for having me.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for having my wife. And subscribe, like, hit the bell notification. Ba-ding! Smash that like button and subscribe. See y'all next time.